Hi everyone. In the previous lesson, we introduced a fundamental idea that economics exists because of scarcity. Today, we take that idea further. We move from simply understanding scarcity and choice to actually visualizing and analyzing those choices using one of the most important models in economics, the production possibility frontier, or PPF. This model allows us to answer a key question. Given limited resources, what combinations of goods and services can an economy actually produce? Let's briefly revisit the economic problem. Because resources are scarce, every society must answer three fundamental questions. What should be produced? How should it be produced? And for whom should it be produced? These are not theoretical questions. They are real decisions made every day by governments, firms, and individuals. However, until now, we've discussed these choices conceptually. The PPF gives us a way to represent these trade-offs visually and analytically. Now, to understand the PPF, we must first understand what limits production. All goods and services are produced using factors of production. There are four key factors. One, land. This includes natural resources such as oil, water, and raw materials. Two, labor. This refers to human effort, both physical and intellectual. Three, capital. This includes machinery, tools, and infrastructure used in production. Four, enterprise. This is the ability to organize resources, take risks, and innovate. Crucially, these factors are finite. There is only so much land, only so many workers, and there's only so much capital. This limitation is what creates the boundary of the PPF. Now we introduce the PPF itself. Imagine a graph. On one axis, we have state education spending. On the other axis, we have other public services. The PPF curve shows the maximum possible combinations of these two outputs that can be produced using all available resources efficiently. Every point on the curve represents a situation where resources are fully and efficiently used. This is known as productive efficiency. Let's interpret different points on a diagram. Points on the curve. These represent efficient outcomes. The economy is using all resources fully. It cannot increase production of one good without reducing the other. And then there's points inside the curve. These represent inefficiency. Resources are being underutilized. This could be due to unemployment, misallocation of resources, and maybe lack of productivity. At these points, the economy can increase production without any opportunity cost, simply by using resources more efficiently. And lastly, there's points outside the curve. These are currently unattainable. They represent combinations that the economy cannot achieve with its current resources and technology. Now, the PPF allows us to visualize opportunity costs. When we move along the curve to produce more of one good, we must give up some of the other. The slope of the PPF represents this trade-off. In many cases, the PPF is curved, not straight. This reflects the idea of increasing opportunity cost. As more resources are shifted towards producing one good, they become less suited to that use. For example, workers specialized in healthcare may not be as productive in manufacturing, so producing additional units becomes increasingly costly in terms of foregone alternatives. If an economy is operating inside its PPF, it means resources are not fully utilized. This could be due to high employment, unemployment, underused capital, inefficient allocation. In this situation, the economy can increase output of both goods without any trade-off. This is a key insight. Opportunity cost only applies when resources are fully employed. If resources are idle, growth can occur without sacrifice. Now, the PPF is not fixed. It can shift. There's an outward shift. An outward shift represents economic growth. This can be caused by investment in capital, improvements in technological progress and education and skills, these increase the productive capacity of the economy. And there's an inward shift. An inward shift represents a reduction in productive capacity. This can be caused by war, natural disasters, or maybe the loss of labor or capital. The economy can now produce less than before. Now, let's apply this to a real world example. Suppose a government wants to increase spending on state education. If the economy is operating on the PPF, this means resources are fully used. So increasing education spending requires reducing spending elsewhere. This is opportunity cost in action. However, if the economy is operating inside the PPF, the situation is different. The government may be able to increase education spending without reducing other services, simply by reducing inefficiency, increasing employment, and improving allocation of resources. This distinction is crucial for policy analysis. While a PPF is a powerful model, it is also a simplification. It has several limitations. First, it assumes only two goods are produced, whereas real economies produce thousands. Second, it assumes resources are fixed and known. Third, it assumes technology is constant unless the curve shifts. Fourth, it does not account for externalities or distributional issues. So the PPF is not a perfect description of reality. It is a tool to help us think clearly about trade-offs. Now let's summarize. The PPF shows the maximum combinations of goods that an economy can produce. Points on the curve are efficient, points inside are inefficient, points outside are unattainable. Scarcity creates trade-offs, trade-offs create opportunity costs. The PPF allows us to visualize all of this. Now, in the next lesson, we will explore economic systems and how different societies decide where to operate on the PPF. Because the key question is not just what we can produce, but what we choose to produce. Thank you.